Welcome to lesson 4 of your One Tao Kung Fu Seal Nim Tao course. Now today I have Melissa with me because she's going to be demonstrating some of the applications for us today. Now this was just one so you can start to understand a few of the reasons you do the movement, so you can understand, from a practical point of view. So you can play with a partner if you like, or you can just listen along and get used to what are the ideas and the shapes that we talk about. So first application is from here. From this point, you bring the hands in front, you come down for Chit Sao, which means cutting hand. The cutting is from this part of the arm. So this is facing me. And for example, she has like a Wing Chun guard on, and she uses that Chit Sao movement here, coming down and forward in this position. Come forward a bit. Now it can be used, firstly you can see it being used as a blocking movement. So I could be throwing as maybe an uppercut. She uses block, or a strike down this way, and it's just to defend. So basically as a block. Secondly, it can actually be used as a strike. So maybe we're in closer, she can use the whole cutting part of the arm to cut through as a strike. Or even closing the fist, she can use it as a strike down into the body as well. So the Chit Sao, the cutting arm, can be used as a block. So we come back to guard, just a block, or strike. Simple. Now from here, so any questions on that?
No.
Okay, so that's the Chit Sao, cutting hand. Now from here, the hand comes up into what we call like a Dai Sao type position, or a raising arm. Now from here, the Dai Sao can be used once again. You can think of pretty much most of the movements in Wing Chun, you can think of them as blocks and strikes simultaneously, but also just trying to move in a powerful way, which we'll go more to in later courses on like the state and power generation. But from here, if Mel has her hands down in front, and as she raises the hand up, you see, if we maybe just bring the other hand out of the way, so this one here. From this raising movement here, we just bring that slightly out to the side. You see that raising movement can be a block against an outward strike, against a hook strike or a wider type strike, just blocking it. But it also can be used as a strike, an uppercut strike as well, if the situation permits. So you've got the blocking side of it, but also as an uppercut as well. So there are a couple of there are many applications for all of these movements, so I'm just going to go through a few basic ones for you. Now from here, from this position here, you've got this movement now where you close the hand and draw back. And that drawing back movement could be that, we're in a situation and she's got to grab my arm, and she can draw the hand back to draw me in. If she were to do that, she'd want to have another hand to strike as well, so that she wouldn't be drawing me into her to be able to strike her. So it could be used to draw someone back. She can draw me back. Just to always keep upright and balanced, and then just use the movement from the ceiling. Yeah. Draw back. Don't lean, yeah. Put yourself lean, so try not to lean, just keep upright and balanced. Just like you're standing, you're just doing this. Yeah, like that. Yeah. So that's that type of movement. Once again, you'd use that in simultaneously with a strike or a palm, so that you wouldn't draw them in towards you, but also, if you come over here for a second, it can be used if Mua has a hand forward here and she sees you drawing it back into the start position, perhaps someone's behind, she can use that as a strike as well. Yes, showing back. Strike. Yeah, so you can see that application there. Now from here, we're back to this position, then we go into the punch. Now that's obvious. So if Mel faces me, she puts her guard on, you can see she goes through the Wing Chun punch. She's probably straight with this one. It's just a straight strike. It's an obvious punch. Now the punch can be used just as a standard strike, or even as a block as well. So if I'm throwing a punch towards Mel, she can just throw the punch through. It's a block as well as a strike, as you can see. So there's the punch. Now from here, she flattens the palm, does the Hun Sao movement. So Hun Sao. Now Hun Sao helps you open up the wrist and loosen up the ligaments and tendons through the forearm, so you get a nice mobile wrist joint. Yeah. And from here, this can be used as to clear the pathway. So perhaps we're in contact here. She can use that to clear the pathway and open me up and come through. Yeah. So she's using the Hun Sao, yeah, and now it's in a position to strike. So open up, so you can come through. So there's the Hun Sao movement, and that can be applied on any angle or any contact. So the Hun Sao is to redirect and control the contact point and open people up. Hun Sao, so punch to Hun Sao and draw back, same one. Next is your Tan Sao shape. And the Tan Sao You can use it, mainly it's used as a block generally speaking, but it can also be like an eye strike or a punch as well. So from guard again, if we'll use the Tan Sao movement of the form, so this movement, you can see how that can be used as a center line defense. So as I throw a punch down through here, you see how she makes contact, then turns the palm up to block and send my punch off her center, which could then be, that could be an eye strike or closed into a punch as well. So once again, it's a block and a strike, but you see it can also be used, if you're keeping it connected to the center, it could also be, if the center line is still connected, you could use it also as a block in this direction, a block in this direction. Meaning, this is a side note, this system is built on principles of connecting to and defending one's own center. So if Mel just has her hand on the center and I throw down the center, then it's going to allow her to protect herself, protect her center, because she's controlling the center line. Okay, so that's Tan Sao. We come forward a little bit. Cool. Now, the next position after Tan Sao is we have the Wu Sao movement. This one, after Tan Sao, you do Hun Sao, you come back to Wu Sao. Now the Wu Sao, you see it's a nice big circle here. The Wu Sao is a really good movement for defending, because as a punch comes through, you see she can utilize this circle to redirect my incoming force. Because if the state and the stance is on well, if the spine is upright and the state is on me and the structure is connected and she's focused to me well, then as I punch in towards that shape can spin me down. So, from any position really, so from here, any type of punch can be decelerated and redirected with the Wu Sao movement, the guarding hand. Okay, good. Any questions or additions so far?
No.
You've been a great model so far. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's the Wu Sao. And after the Wu Sao, you've got Fuk Sao. Fuk Sao is known as, subduing hand. Yeah. So the Fuk Sao, what that does, it helps you to, when the state's on well and your body's soft and relaxed, you can really stick to a person and control them from the contact point with this. So once again, it is defensive. Maybe I'll throw a punch in towards here, and the Fuk Sao can help her to stick to me and control the contact point. Yeah. So the Fuk Sao is defensive in that it's a way to control contact points. You can use the hand slightly, but also the whole arm will stick to the person, so you can control that contact point. So there's the Fuk Sao. Back to stand back, you practice Fuk Sao 3 times. And that's that. They are all the applications of all, let's say, sorry, not all of them. They're all the movements of part A of Sil and Tao form, but some of the applications. Now, something to keep in mind for the future. When you are practicing your Kung Fu, especially the internal form of Wing Chun or internal Kung Fu systems, you're not planning your attacks or your techniques. You're not thinking, I'm going to do a Fuk Sao and a Bong Sao and a Wu Sao here. You're just coming forward with the state, there are going to be further courses on the energetic and the internal condition. You put on the state and allow the shapes to naturally roll. So what I mean is that if Mel's got a guard up and there's an attacker coming towards her, she's not going to be thinking, okay, I'm going to do a Pak Sao, Wu Sao, Bong Sao as they come towards. She's going to think of connecting to me and allowing the shapes to naturally roll according to the incoming force. There's no time to think in combat. Anyway, that is all for now. Thank you for coming to this lesson. If you do have any questions, once again, put them in the comments below or contact us through any of the social channels. And I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson.